Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I'm frustrated with my 13-year-old. Many of you out there probably have teeny boppers like I do, and last night my teenager decided that he had put off, I believe it was like a book report or something, but he had put it off until last night, and he had known about it for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And decided he would just put it off till last night. Well, the rub is that he needed to print it, and he knew that my printer was down. And so last night this kid was in trouble, and this morning we had to figure out how to or where to go to print out this report so that he could get it in today on time and not get a bad grade. And then after all of that, we figured that out, and then I get him in the car to take him to school, and he's got baseball practice after school, and he knew that he had to have his baseball stuff. I get halfway around the block, and this kid tells me that he forgot his baseball stuff. And so there's something about these teeny boppers. Their heads are in the clouds, and it's very frustrating at times. But we love them, you know. So anyway, that's how my day started, and it's his fault that I am now getting to this first video at this point. For that, I apologize. The Ripping is on fire. For those of you that don't follow the Ripping, at _Ripping, this guy he met David Schwartz at this, what's it called? SXSW. It's a conference. The Ripping is, I think I'm right on this. He's a limo driver in Austin, Texas, and that's where they were doing this conference. That's my understanding. But this guy's on fire today. First he posted that photo, then he posted this video, and you should go follow the Ripping and go watch. He's got a bunch of good things in his Twitter feed that you need to go check out. I'm about to show you another one too. That's why I tell you he's on fire. But this is a video he took. I guess he took it, a 50-minute video of David Schwartz at this conference that you should go check out. Next, and I think I found this in his thread too this morning. This is a retweet of Stephen Diep, and so I just pulled it up this way. But at DIEPSANH, Stephen Diep had posted this. He found this short video, which he's so good at doing. The main reason Western Union partnering with Ripple is optimizing our settlement to manage currency volatility, but we are yet to see the efficiency in Ripple compared to our current system. And in the past, Western Union seems to be the only company that ever says this, and what I've heard and read in the past is that that from Ripple that they weren't testing Ripple on the volume level necessary to find all of the efficiencies and the cost savings. But that would be to be continued. So go and watch this video and follow Stephen Diep. He puts these really great short videos out. For those of us with short attention spans, it's great. Anyway, next, this is also from the Ripping. This is a good thread that he did that I really liked. What he's showing you here is gold, fiat, and crypto, and comparing them. Mobility. Gold is not mobile, fiat's mobile, crypto's mobile. Limited supply. Gold has a limited supply, fiat does not have a limited supply. Crypto has both of these things. And this is why crypto is going to conquer the world, folks. Fiat, the limited supply issue is the fact that fiat can be printed at will, and the central banks of the world have gladly done so. So moving on, let's read this thread because it's great. Faith-based fiat has been a 48-year experiment leading to the devaluation of national currencies due to unlimited printing. Once people are comfortable enough with crypto alternative, they will abandon their faith in fiat and seize control of their wealth with digital assets. And this is a chart. fiat on the way to zero. And this chart shows you all major currencies have depreciated relative to gold. And it shows you some of those currencies: mark, yen, Reichsmark, US dollar, Deutschmark, pound sterling, ECU, euro, and how all of them over time go down versus gold. And then this is an interesting clip as well. You should go to this Twitter feed and listen to this. Max Kaiser, who is a Bitcoin guy, he's anti-Ripple, but I don't think he understands the big picture on that. But Max Kaiser is a very smart guy from an economic standpoint. And in this, he's talking about this same issue and how fiat eventually goes to nothing because you've got the involvement of politicians and central banks, and they eventually don't do the responsible thing, and they print the money into oblivion, and it devalues. It's simple as that. They don't have these politicians and these central banks that are run by the politicians. They don't have the guts to stand up and tell their populations to put their big boy pants on, and that sometimes life is not easy. Instead of doing that, they choose to promise them things that can't be promised and aren't sustainable over time. If they would just talk to their populations as adults, their population would actually respect it. But none of them in the history of the world have had the guts to stand up and tell it like it is and say, look, we can't afford this. We're not going to print money to get this because that's irresponsible and it destroys our country over time. We're not going to do these things. We're not going to do X, Y, and Z. You're going to have to. We're going to have to save money and do the responsible thing that you do in a responsible household. These politicians don't have the guts to do it and never have. And for that reason, countries continue, and central banks and countries continue to get themselves in situations that they can't get out of. Well, guess what? Digital assets are the answer to that, because digital assets force you to be transparent and honest financially. That is why the banks and the central banks are so terrified of it, is because all of a sudden everyone's going to be forced to be financially responsible because they can't print this stuff at will. Okay, next. And this goes in line with that. This is from DepthCapital, at DepthCapital. And this was a Philip Nunn tweet. The British pound is the oldest fiat currency in existence, over 300 years. It's now worth less than 0.5% of its original value. So the most successful long-standing currency in existence has lost 99.5% of its value, and we don't need change. So he's making a very valid point there. Okay, next from XRP Crypto Wolf, at CBOE, said it will not add a new Bitcoin futures market for March, citing a need to review how it approaches the digital asset space before they list additional XBT futures contracts. Does everyone remember how crazy the crypto market manipulation began once we got CBOE and CME futures? Exactly. And my contention is that what we're seeing right now, a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, the market, it is dying to shoot up. It shot up to, as I recall, around 145 billion. And the second that it started really getting some traction, it was Bitcoin. It happens every time. Bitcoin it's like a hammer. Bitcoin nails the market down, and then everything follows Bitcoin down. And it has to be manipulation. Has to be. Okay, so I think they're trying to get their arms around all of this. Okay, next, this is from X-Philosopher, at X-Philosopher1. Big news from Japan. Law reforms passed to prohibit the following in terms of digital asset trading exchanges, market manipulation, spreading false info, insider trading. The official term for cryptocurrencies will be switched to digital asset as well. And do you know why they're doing this, folks? Is because they're ramping up to get ready to sell it to the public. And they know that the word cryptocurrencies has a stigma, and they want to get rid of that stigma so they can sell it to their population. And you and I are going to be here when they start to sell it and come up with all their terms that they use to sell, because we'll be here and we'll be ready. From Sergeant Obi-Wan, Canada proposes regulatory framework for cryptocurrency exchanges. via Canada trying to get clarity and regulations in place. You're darn right they are. So United States, let's get on the stick here, because these people are going to do it with or without us. Next, from DS_XRP at LYRAD 1964, sent me this, and you all need to go and watch this because it's really amazing. It's an amazing video game for one thing, but these guys are using the Ripple protocol in their video game now, okay? So that the people playing their game can go in there and they can buy digital assets. And these people talk about this video game and everything that they've put into this video game and how big digital assets are going to be inside of video games. It's called Beachhead, and this is the presentation a lot of the people that made this video game are talking here. It's really interesting. Go to Beachhead if you want to see this. On YouTube, that is, Beachhead, their YouTube channel. Next, from C3 Nick, this is a call to arms, folks. I think that we need to show our Bitcoin friends what XRP is all about, and I think this would be a great opportunity to do it. This came from Dave Jones at Dave_Jones_02. He says, Bitcoin Lightning Torch promotional tipping initiative runs into trouble. Transaction grew into just a couple of bucks, but the system already is running out of channel liquidity. No matter how hard they try, BTC just will not work. Sean Schaefer comes in, he says, should we start the old XRP Torch 2.0 to show the ability XRP? And then C3 Nick says, that is a really funny idea. We can pass the XRP Torch around a dozen people within a few seconds. And then they ask Arrington if he wants to kick it off. Well, I don't know if Arrington's kicking it off, but the digital asset investor is going to, I'm sending a shout out to whoever wants to kick it off, and I'm going to put that in the description of this video and see if we can get it going. Next, I wanted to show you this. Hoder put out a new blog today, and he has, I think he must have interviewed Bob Way. Remember, Bob Way is he was one of the first 10 Ripple employees, and then he left Ripple. And what I learned in what Hoder had written up here, I learned that he had a cancer scare, and that's why he had left Ripple. But he in this thing he interviews Bob Way is the way I saw it. He interviews Bob Way, and there's a lot of really good information in this. I'm not going to go in depth into it. Just wanted to make you aware that it's up there. Go and read this. It's a very interesting read. Next, I got this from Holo Island News, and if you are a Holochain, if you own some HOT, which I do, and you believe in what they're doing, you should follow Holo Island News at Holo Island News. Sent me this, well, didn't send me the video, sent me an article, and the most interesting thing I found in it was this video. For those of you that know anything about Holo, what they're doing is they're trying to create a decentralized internet, and they are pre-selling these portal, I think you call it a portal or whatever they're calling it, but they're selling these, and the way this is going to work is they want these to be in the homes of people, and all you're going to have to do is plug the thing in, and you'll be able to earn Holo Fuel, which is what their digital asset is going to be called. Right now it's Holochain, I guess, and it's under the symbol HOT, but that's going to be swapped out for Holo Fuel. And if you own these boxes and you've got them plugged in, you're going to be able to earn Holo Fuel just for being plugged into their network. Really a genius idea. But this video, and you can find it at Sam Rose, go to Sam Rose, startup shutdown sequence. It shows you this port being turned on and turned off, I guess. But I think they've been testing these things is more or less what the deal is. But while we're on the subject of Holo, this is an article I've shown you before from January 10th. I still don't know when the swap is going to occur, but I do know that now you can put HOT on your Ledger Nano S. You can put it on there to keep it safe using myetherwallet.com. But soon they're going to be swapping these out, and I don't know the answer. I believe you're going to have it on an exchange like Binance in order to do that swap. And so if you might, anyway, if you've got yours on the Ledger Nano S, what you need to do is you need to really be paying attention to when this is going to occur. I have not seen any news about when it occurs yet, but you need to be paying attention. You do not want to have your digital assets somewhere where that swap is not going to happen, because you could lose a lot of money. Okay, finally, from C3 Nick, I just wanted to do an experiment. This looked interesting enough to do an experiment. C3 Nick says, I actually met someone in a currency exchange store at an airport last year. He bought XRP before to hedge against the risk of his job becoming obsolete. I started talking to him because he was browsing the Ripple subreddit. True story. And then he says, would be funny if he actually follows me on Twitter. I did not have a Twitter account back then. So I wanted to see how small the world is here, and see if we could track down the guy who, C3 Nick, see if he remembers surfing that Ripple subreddit in an airport at an exchange store, and see if we can get these two guys together. And I'm telling C3 Nick now, if this guy remembers and you find him, let me know. I'd like to talk about it on my channel. I thought this was an interesting thing, just to see how close-knit this community is. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that C3 Nick is looking for this guy he met in the airport last year. How cool would it be if we found him? Thanks for listening.